serious question for you. What is the meaning of the word educates? I'm Graniopteryx. You can't spend a lot of time on the internet without coming across stuff like this. Ben Shapiro educates Piers Morgan, Israel-Hamas war. And here's a picture of Ben Shapiro looking particularly aggressive and a rather slack-jawed Piers Morgan looking somewhat, well, aghast, bullied, whatever. You see, because the word educates has changed meaning in the past few years, it now no longer means being given knowledge. It means being embarrassed about your own ignorance and being corrected. It's not quite the same thing. I'm going to show you a few examples. Here we are. Peterson. Jordan Peterson educates young student and leaves Oxford Union speechless. I'm quite sure he doesn't. These titles are very often dishonest, but they are using the word educates in the same way. Douglas Murray educates activist on mass immigration. Thomas Sowell educates Liberal presenter in heated debate. Client educates cops. They don't listen. He wins in court. It's about striking an advantage there. It's like winning an argument, but it's not real education. It's showing supremacy. When you used to talk about somebody being an educator, you didn't mean that they showed that they were so much more intelligent than their students. You mean that they you meant that they imparted information to people who were absorbing that information. Now, sometimes it can be used in a negative sense, like you could say the Nazis educated the Hitler Youth into a certain frame of mind. But again, it doesn't imply they were striking off a superior advantage. It means they were pushing information into their brain. Again, not quite the same thing. What's the next one? Yeah. Peter Thiel educates college professor who asks, what's your problem with higher education? Here, man educates a professor on cultural appropriation. Man educates woke feminist on equal pay. Driver completely owns and educates cops. The meaning of educate has turned into a negative thing now. Education is something to be afraid of. When people educate you now, it means they know better than you and they are slapping you down because you've shown some embarrassing ignorance. At least that's the way it's being used here. Now, I will still say I got an education at this school or that university or whatever. But the meaning of the word is changing, and pretty soon I might be embarrassed to say that. Because it meant I went in there and got slapped down. Now, we know words do change meaning, but it's a particularly, it's a bad... What's the word? It's an attitude to education which is bad. We are starting to think of education as a bad thing because when you get an education, it implies you are ignorant and whoever is educating you is superior and possibly not very nice about it as well. And it's not good for society to have that in your mind when you hear that word. Right, that's my observation for today. till next time. Why not treat yourself or a favoured relative or friend to these magnificent examples of merch? The mugs and t-shirts come in the Graniopteryx design or Grambo with a firearm or the more deadly knitting needles. Go to www.graniopteryx.com and whatever platform you're watching this on, please click like, subscribe and share.